What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Investing Bros live show. We've got a great one lined up for you guys today because Bitcoin and crypto are rallying here once again. The stock market is up since this morning and those favorable inflation data points. But the question is, will it continue? Are we about to make a massive run to the upside? Was Larry Fink and BlackRock correct in buying up the dips on the ETFs when no one else was? Also, India, the country of India, is leading the entire world in crypto adoption. What does that mean for crypto prices? We're going to cover that and a whole lot more in today's episode. But if you guys are excited, make sure to smash the like, hit subscribe, share this video on Twitter with all of your friends. But first, we got to roll the intro. There we go. T-Shroom in the building with that transition. Very nice and cool. How you doing?
Oh, I'm feeling very transitioned, Tim. Feeling more transitioned than I deserve. How are you doing?
I don't know if that sentence is what we want to have out on the internet, but I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's been a good day so far. Excited to get into the show and the details. I feel like we got a lot to talk about, but we didn't get necessarily. We were working with mic stuff right before going live, so usually we're making sure we're on the same page when it comes to content. Guess what? Today, I don't know if T-Shroom and I both know what the other person is going to fully talk about, because we were doing some other things instead. So this is going to be a fun show. You guys are going to figure it out as we get going. That being said, we do know we're covering some big stories here, such as the India news, such as some different things happening from Eric Buchanan. And also, again, on the charts, Bitcoin and crypto are making some moves to the upside. We're going to talk about what that means. But T-Shroom, are you ready to just jump on into crypto bubbles? Do you have anything you want to say to the people?
I do. This has been a rough patch in crypto, it can be hard, especially if you bought into crypto, altcoins, Bitcoin, whatever it is, at when Bitcoin was at $73,700 per Bitcoin at all-time highs back in March. I get it. You're struggling. You're especially if you invested more than you can afford to lose, right? You've suffered. You follow channels like the Investing Bros to get a renewed vision for why you invested in the first place. What is the value of Bitcoin? And if you're a trader, get the levels as well. So, Tim, I think that let's go ahead and jump on into the bubbles.
Let's do it. Let's take a look at some bubbles. Mostly, it's crazy, actually. We are up right now today, but a lot of things in the red, mostly because we were rallying yesterday afternoon. And so just compared to what we were 24 hours ago, a lot of coins are in the red, but some of them sticking up in the green. ICP is still up 5%. They were one of the bigger leaders when we were taking a look at this morning. Their cohort, though, Aave, which was up pretty big this morning, is now down 2% within the last 24 hours. So it's taking a different turn. That's quite all right, though. I'm not freaked out about it because Aave has been pumping here more recently, and sometimes things just got to cool down. Some other big losers we have here: WIF 6%, Notcoin 5.4%, Core down here behind T-Shroom, but it's grouping up here. Core is down 5.5%, Beam 4.7, Sats 5.2, and then Stark here at the bottom. I don't know if you guys can see that one, 4.4%. So that kind of is some of the bigger movers of the day. But we'll take a look at some altcoins later on if you guys want to take a look at some of those. There's some stocks in the crypto world. I definitely want to take some time today to look at some of the Bitcoin miners and how they are responding, because they've not been performing well recently either. But there's some big things happening on their charts that do make me feel good about the future of the miners. If you guys are investing on those, let's say you bought on Robinhood or another place, you guys should be seeing some profit coming very, very soon. One of the reasons why, go to my screen here, T-Shroom, this morning we called the pullback borderline perfectly. When we were talking about this morning, the bright yellow on our liquidations map here at 55,000. Now that says a different price actually. There we go. 55,800 was a level we told you guys to watch this morning. Why? Because there was some bright yellow. We since went below that, and now we're back up, clearing out some high liquidity up above us. While there is some light green back down low down here, it's I don't know why this is malfunctioning for me. Am I zoomed in too weird? I don't know. That's definitely acting very weird. It's coming in down here somewhere around 55.2, 55.3. I'm not certain we necessarily have to go that low, but the reason we dipped this morning, despite the fact that we had good news from inflation, was because of what we talked about, that potential for the traders to manipulate price and clear out some long positions and then head prices to the upside. Just so you know, as you zoom out and you take a look at longer time frames, if this is going to load for me quickly. Sometimes for some reason this website's not been loading. There we go. A lot of bright yellow up above us. There is some below. There's absolutely people putting in longs that are putting their stop orders around 43. But what I'm excited about up here is above 70,000 to the upside. I do believe that we're still going to be going that direction in the next couple of weeks or month or two, because again, a lot of things are still leaning extremely bullish. But that being said, let's get into the charts and talk about why I'm so bullish even on the shorter time frame. Like we said this morning, I even put a line on the chart. Those of you guys who watched our morning show, I put this blue line here around 55,770 and said, do not be surprised to see a pullback to that level on the 4-hour chart. That was our smart trail here, this blue cloud right in here. I told you guys I would not be surprised to see, after having a new higher high on the shorter time frame, to get a pullback down to our blue smart trail and then find support and move to the upside. But guess what this also sets up very beautifully? We talked about it this morning. This is very close to confirming our inverse head and shoulders pattern, where we have a left shoulder over here. You guys can see that nice dip. Our head right here. And then this most recent move, we have our right shoulder in play. Now what we are waiting on is to break above this blue trend line. This is what we call the neckline of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. When this gets broken and we make a move to the upside, this should send the price of Bitcoin up towards 64,200. As you zoom out and you're looking at those levels, then we're starting to take a look at, well, can we break above that daily smart trail right here? Actually, let me turn off order blocks for a second. Can we break above this red smart chart right here, this resistance level, keeping the daily chart technically owned by the bears? Can we break above the key level of 65,000 and for the first time in multiple months set a higher high in this descending price action of Bitcoin? You guys can see here, based on this red line, we've just come up and set lower highs consistently the last couple of months. The most recent high, 65,000, set back here on August 24th. Getting above that purple line would be extremely, extremely bullish. But you got to start with the little things. Got the hourly chart going bullish with the head and shoulders pattern. Get the 4-hour chart going as you continue, still run out that inverse head and shoulders pattern. But then the daily chart, can we break above that long-term trend and set a higher high for Bitcoin? All of those things I do believe are coming here very, very soon. And a lot of the data points that we are looking at as of lately are kind of confirming that. With that said, let's transition here, as I said we would. Let's take a look at things that are related to Bitcoin, but not quite Bitcoin themselves. That would be the miners. A lot of people probably in here trade crypto, but some of you might also be trading the miners of Bitcoin. This is Clean Spark right here on the daily chart. And you can see we had a pretty beautiful, what we call a Bart Simpson pattern play out. Anyone who ever watched that show, The Simpsons, I've seen it. I wasn't allowed to watch it as a child. My mom was very strict, but I know exactly what it is, and I've watched a little bit of it in my adult years. I apologize, Mom. I'm very sorry. I broke the rules. This played out pretty nicely. You guys see it looks like Bart Simpson's hair coming back down. It didn't quite hit necessarily a level of trending support. That blue line, you can see here several touches on this trend line that we thought potentially we could make it back down to. But when I pull up Luxalgo, you're going to notice two very significant, or actually three significant support levels that we did touch coming down here towards $8. The first one, a major order block dating back all the way to February 5th. What is an order block? Some of you might be saying. What even is this indicator? Well, this is Luxalgo, the number one trading tool out there. If you want to get in and make sure you're reading the charts correctly, trading it with the right levels of support and resistance, or getting the right buy signals or sell signals, the complete premium package of Luxalgo is the way to go. These order blocks signal liquidity or levels of heavy buying and selling pressure based off of historical levels. And in this case, with that red bar being slightly longer than the green one, it communicates more bears got exhausted at this level than bulls at these prices.
Now,
You'll see
Tim,
that's the first thing. Oh, good.
Well, before you get to the second thing, Tim, I don't know
Yeah,
if a lot of people realize this, but right now, Lux Algo, the indicator that you're mentioning there, that you're highlighting, is actually 20% off when you use our code here. You
yeah.
could just come down and you're watching this video here. You just scroll down on mobile or desktop, and then you click this link right here. This is a link that's going to get you 20% off a trading indicator that's going to really help you out, especially if you're new. But if you're advanced, you've been trading for a while, it's actually one of the top used indicators for folks who've been
Yes.
trading for a long time as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, you don't want to miss that 20% off. Let's keep going, though, because that's not all that Luxalgo is talking to us about. The other things that it's saying is you can see here the take profit. Now, it might be a little hard to see. I'm making sure people can see it here. But the take profit, these blue dotted lines, is one of the cool features that Luxalgo has. It will tell you when to sell or when to buy, and then it will tell you the levels that more than likely that asset wants to go to. In this case, finding confluence with the order block and this green support cloud, we have 3 different Lux Algo indicators right here between our price action concepts and signals and overlays, telling us this was a beautiful bottom position. But that's not all. We also are going to be seeing over here, we're actually, this one was not flashing just yet. So we're actually waiting for this one to come, but we're getting the signals on the Lux Algo oscillator that CleanSpark is ready to reverse as well. We have a whole bunch of reversals that have played out here more recently. This faint blue line down here on the oscillators is communicating what we call bullish divergence. It's a reversal signal when you're looking at oscillators. We have bullish momentum on the oscillator itself. The last piece of the puzzle I do want to see to confirm this move, but we're seeing it happen on Bitcoin's daily chart. We're seeing it happen on almost every single altcoin's daily chart. It's probably only a matter of days before we see the money flow turn positive, and that will be a major buy signal for CleanSpark. Again, while seeing it down, hitting major support levels, and about to flash a major buy signal, these are all a lot of reasons to be bullish on CleanSpark, despite the fact that it has been pretty significantly down here over the last couple of weeks. Now, I don't think you guys can hear it. Do you hear a whining dog in the background, T-Shroom?
Tim, we'll transition to the Brocam here. I do not hear a whining dog.
Okay. So some of you know this. We don't talk about him very often. I have a dog named Beamer. Great dog. Expert trader, by the way, as well. We have a video way back on the channel where he traded. But he never barks, never whines. You never have a problem with him. But when he thinks he's home alone, he starts to whine or bark. And I'm pretty sure Taylor and Brody just left to go for like a walk or something. And I think he thinks he's home alone. So if he keeps barking, I think he's quiet now. If he keeps barking, I might poke my head out the door and just tell him I'm home, just so he's good to go. But
I
if
love
you guys
it.
hear anything in the background, that's Beamer. He
Now,
wants to be a part of the show.
while we've got this momentary diversion, Tim, username
Yeah.
said, Shroomy, I need help. Tim answered yesterday, so it's your turn. Burrito or barbecue for dinner? Ooh, that's a tough one. I love the full feeling that I get from a delicious burrito, but barbecue, I think, will probably take the winner status today. Go have some barbecue on us. As a suggestion, it's on us. The cost is on you.
On our idea, on our creativity. Yeah,
That's right.
No shame or condemnation towards burritos. Burritos are a beautiful thing, but it's barbecue. You got to go barbecue. There's only one right answer in those comparisons right there. Barbecue all the way. T-Shroom, you want to check out Mara? Let's keep doing a couple more. This is the last one. Let's just do the other major Bitcoin mining stock. And this one, it's actually kind of similar to the Bitcoin chart. Not identical necessarily, but in that sideways trading range. Unlike CleanSpark that had a nice little spill, Mara's kind of doing that same sideways, slowly setting lower lows and lower highs, although this one's not a lower high right there. It's not going to be quite the same when it comes to resistance levels at all, but the support level definitely is the same. We got a nice bounce off of that trend here over the last couple of days. That's now 1, 2, 3, 4 times that this trend has been used as support. It has massive implications for being a nice level of support. We're not necessarily getting the order block at the moment down at that same level, but what you will see is this one right here. This is what we would call a bearish breaker block, or in other words, it was a support level back here a couple of days ago, but when we lost it here on September 3rd, it turned into what could be conceived as a strong level of resistance. But once you break and close a daily candle above this, that the whole chart goes away, right? So at 8 p.m. tonight, if we can get higher, that's going to go away. We are watching to see if that is possible. But I do like seeing the trend line being touched here once again. That's very, very bullish. And then you come down to our oscillators where you're seeing the MACD is bullish. I didn't mention that on CleanSpark. The MACD and the RSI were looking very, very good. Let's take a look at the Luxago oscillator. Here is where we're kind of in a similar boat to CleanSpark, that it's not quite yet a buy signal, but it's very, very close. We have our green reversal down here. We have green momentum. And now the money flow is curving, and it looks like it wants to turn positive pretty much any day now. But what's more exciting here, T-Shroom, this is one of my favorite trading tools, is the excessive sellers. This is what I love that Luxago tells us. It didn't just tell us that the money recently has been leaving. It actually communicates with this bright pink that excessive sellers, excessive selling pressure is on the market. But the cool thing is when those sellers leave, and it does look like they're starting to dwindle, just like I say this analogy all the time, but imagine when you have a basketball and you hold it underwater. As long as your hands stay on top, that ball stays under. But the minute you remove your hands, the ball doesn't just come back to the surface, it shoots to the upside. Well, in the same way, a lot of times when you see the heavy sellers just like this, when they leave, the oscillator and the price action shoot back up and to the right. So it's not quite there. It's not screaming buy just yet, but with, once again, support levels being hit here on the daily chart, with the oscillators being very close to printing that buy signal, I'm liking what I'm seeing here on Mara as well. And guess what? These are definitely going to follow. The question, which one follows which? Do the miners follow the Bitcoin? Does Bitcoin follow the miners? Either way, we're seeing all three of them giving us major bullish signals at the moment for rallies to the upside. Let me get rid of these drawings right here for my my inverse head and shoulders, just so it's not so messy. That's what we're looking at right now here, T-Shroom. We're going to take a look at oscillators a little later during the Q&A section. If you guys have some of those, when I said oscillators, altcoins, excuse me. If you have altcoins that you want to hear my technical analysis on, I'm going to make sure we at least have 10 minutes at the end of the show to do so. But if you're just saying, man, Tim, I have a lot of altcoins I want to hear your technical analysis on, and you don't seem to always have time during the live shows, all you got to do is make sure to be a part of our VIP trading group. There's two ways to do it. Number one, you can join in our memberships, the Pro Bros option. Go join that today. Prices are actually about to increase over there. There's so many benefits to that level, but one of them is you get to come in and be a part of our trading group where you can ask me questions anytime, any day, and I will get back to you ASAP. The other option, these are the memberships right here. The other option is we've been talking about Luxago here. Maybe you're newer to the channel. When you purchase Luxago using our link, not only do you get 20% off, but if you let us know about it in Discord, there's a ticket system that you can get into. We will permit you to join into that Discord group. You won't get all the benefits as the Pro Bros members, but you will get access to the Discord chat, and you'll get access to me to get any questions answered you guys want. Make sure to check that out today. T-Shroom, let's transition here from the charts for a little bit into the news. There's a lot of very bullish headlines we have to go through, but let's get through those, and then we'll come back and do some Q&A later on in the show.
Absolutely, Tim. Let's go ahead and dive into it. Tim, we're going to start off with something that we're probably not going to return to for the rest of the stream. We might, but we probably won't. You'll have to leave some chats down in the live chat to let us know if you want to hear more about this. But this is the current polymarket spread for the U.S. 2024 election forecast. Bada bing, bada boom. You can deduce from yourself what this means after yesterday's events. Let's get back into crypto directly. Eric Blofin is tweeting out some bullishness for those watching the Bitcoin ETF narrative like a hawk. He said this: so after all the drama / hand-wringing about the failure of Bitcoin ETFs, LOL, they back to taking in cash. Year-to-date, net flows back over high watermark of 17.1 billion, and the 1 week and 1 month outflows have shrunk to less than 1% of assets under management. Probably turn positive still if history is any guide. Wild how reactionary people are in this category, crypto, Bitcoin he's referring to. You don't really get this with equity investors unless there is a massive disruption in the markets, probably because it's so brand new. Again, this is the opinion and observation of Eric Blofin. We like him a lot. He's an analyst over at Bloomberg. We haven't heard from him in a while, but we were hearing from him more than daily, multiple times a day, because he was the voice of the ETFs. That was the biggest story by far in January, February, and March. and April.
Yeah, he could stand to have had someone proofread that tweet before hitting send. There's a couple broken English
Right.
lines on there, but
Right.
otherwise, a lot of great information. Ultimately, we've been talking about this, giving our opinion. Not that we are the foremost experts on the ETF. A lot of our opinions are formed by people like Eric Buchanan, who is an expert on the ground kind of reporter on those details. But we were telling you guys that people have been freaking out about ETFs, wondering if they were failures. There's two layers to it. Number one, no, they're not failures. And actually, as he's reporting here, the data is still net positive. But number two, let's just even go ahead and tell you it's too soon to declare them massive successes or massive failures. Why? Because the Bitcoin ETF's been around here for a little minute. Price is still above where it launched, but it's not even a year old just yet. And sometimes in the past, we've seen ETFs take 9 to 12 months before they really actually get the massive buy-in order. This is something, T-Shroom, I talked about, and a lot of people thought I was crazy and thought that I was especially crazy when we made a run up to 73. But if you go back and look at the gold ETF, when gold first came, when gold became an ETF back in, I think, 03. Don't quote me on that specifically. I don't remember the exact date, but there was like a 9 to 12 month period where it had some rallies and it had some falls that overall just traded sideways. And I predicted, I said, I'm not going to be surprised to see Bitcoin act pretty similarly. Now, we did have the massive rally up towards $73,000, but then we came back down and touched the exact peak of when we launched the ETFs in the first place. And guess what? It launched in January. We're now in September. I'm not a mathematician, guys, but that's 9 months. 9 months, and it's now starting to look like we're about to make a run. It turns out my prediction that we would see a repeat of what gold's ETF did is looking truer and truer every single day. When it comes to Ethereum's ETF, way too soon. It's only a month or two old. I think it came out in July, correct, Ethereum? So I think it's 2 months old. Way too soon for us to declare it a failure. Just because Van Eck is closing their doors, that's another thing that T-Shroom and I both predicted way back in January. There's no way all of the companies filing for these ETFs will all be able to stay competitive. They're closing the doors because of lack of demand. Why? Because all of the demand is going to BlackRock. BlackRock has been nailing this bull market so far. They've sold at the right levels. They've been buying every single dip. They're acquiring more and more Bitcoin and Ethereum. And if people aren't careful, the perfect plan that Larry Fink has had this entire time to manipulate the market so that he can take all of your crypto is working perfectly. I hope and pray you guys have continued to hodl on. You hold on to your crypto. You ride the volatility because better days are still ahead of us. And only those who are patient and steadfast are going to reap the benefits.
Absolutely, Tim. Well, speaking of those who are patient and steadfast, we're going to go now to our headline story here. India once again leads in global crypto adoption. This is a breakdown article of this much larger 2024 report from Chainalysis. As an annual report came out today. We also got Bitcoin Magazine's Bitcoin report. We've been digesting that, and we'll be discussing that in the Discord, of which you can gain free access to in the link in the description. But this is a pretty big report that comes out. We like to digest this and kind of consider it. But some of the highlights here that were brought to us by Watcher.guru are as follows. India has got a fairly widespread level of adoption across different assets of crypto despite restrictions, Chainalysis researcher Eric Jardine told Reuters. Additionally noted, this implies new participants via services that were not banned, referencing the 2018 restriction the country placed on the asset class, being crypto. Jardine notes that Binance, as the prime example of lessening restrictions, the crypto exchange received 2.25 million, one after it registered in the country's Financial Intelligence Unit, FIU, yet it returned to the country in August of this year. Chainalysis notes that this should only increase the region's adoption figures. So despite India having quite a turbulent regulatory clarity situation going on there, they still, for the second year in a row, have been able to be the most aggressive adopters of crypto technology. And Tim, I think that this speaks, and the runner-up, I believe, is Nigeria. This speaks to me as a reminder, as an American, as a Westerner, but specifically as an American, North American, is that we invest in crypto and in Bitcoin. In other parts of the world, Bitcoin is integral, right? And it's becoming a daily use, like water, right? It's something that they need. It like we think of the dollar, we like to poke fun at the dollar and say, "Oh, the dollar sucks," right? But at the end of the day, we're still using it to buy hamburgers and gasoline, right? Whereas in India and Argentina and parts of all across the world, where the economy sucks, right, or the currency sucks, they actually use crypto for purchasing. And so it's not a surprise to hear that India is continuing to lead in the adoption. It also helps to have the world's largest population. So all of those things considered, I would love to hear anybody who's watching live or in the comments, if you're in India or are Indian or know people that live there, what are your thoughts on this? Is this accurate? Do you think that there's reason to not believe this, that Chainalysis report is inaccurate for some reason? But more than likely, share with us the stories that you have or your perspectives you have that kind of prove that this is overwhelmingly true, that India loves crypto. They can't get enough of it, Tim.
Yeah, I would go ahead and say that this, T-Sherman, is we always kind of reference when we're talking about retail investors. I think when you say the word retail investor, most people probably think of an American or someone in Europe. Like, so we're thinking of the West. That is the perception of retail investor. But even seeing this, when you say, we have India's number one, you believe Nigeria's number two, and that sounds about right. I think people sometimes sleep on just how massive crypto is for Asia and Africa. And there's a lot of countries in Asia that are not even allowing their citizens to trade it effectively, and I think that's going to change. The number one and one of the largest populations, of course, India, I think, has the number one population in the world right now, but number two is China. And China every single day seems to be softening their bans and their restrictions on their civilians being able to trade and mine Bitcoin. This is very bullish, very good, because I think you're always going to have the grandma here in the United States who just doesn't understand the new technology. She just won't ever be able to wrap her brain around it. You're going to have some wealthy people that continue to hold off, despite the fact that you do see BlackRock and Van Eck and Fidelity and all these large investment firms going all in on crypto and saying it's going to be the future. You're always going to have the old, stubborn Western person, an American, European, that just refuse to change their ways. All right, it is what it is. They're going to miss out on changing their wealth as well. I feel like when you go to the continents of Asia and Africa, when you think of the people there and what they're doing, they are way more, not on everything in their life, but when it comes to this particular situation, they're way more willing to change up and to try something new. And one of the reasons why is because I think you're right. I think you nailed it right on the head. We like to complain about the U.S. dollar. We talk about it every single day as it's dying. But compared to other currencies, if we're being very honest, if we're comparing it to the currencies of China, of India, of Africa, different countries in Africa, it's actually doing pretty well, all things considered. They have the dire need to get out of their native currency and get into something more stable like cryptocurrency. And that sounds crazy because crypto is volatile. It's up and down and up and down. And your average American is going to complain about that volatility, but your average Indian, your average Nigerian, your average person that lives in a country where the currency sucks, they're saying, you know what? This is 10 times better than what I've had to deal with for the last 50 years of my life. I'm transitioning here. I'm going all in on crypto. And this is one of the reasons why it's not just about what America thinks. It's not just what Europe thinks. It's not what the West thinks. Crypto is a worldwide currency. That this is awesome to see the massive adoption still coming from the continents of Asia and Africa, not just Europe and America.
Yeah, absolutely. Just to continue here, there's a little bit more information. Now we're seeing that offshore exchanges will soon be brought into the emerging ecosystem in India. Earlier, we had flight of investors away from Indian exchanges to global exchanges, think Binance, because of high taxes. I hope that with regulatory clarity, we'll also get a more workable tax arrangement that promotes innovation and brings all aspects of crypto and Web3 into the economy in a sustainable way. There are a lot of brilliant Indian crypto startups. When they are finally given a healthy environment to work in, I think they'll unleash magic. Think 100 polygons and more. Not exactly sure what that means, but you can kind of see that it's only the beginning for crypto worldwide, and especially in India, right? We're so early. This is an indication that we're so early. As popular as crypto is, right? It's only getting started, and folks living in India that really want to use it, they're willing to, kind of obfuscate some of the rules there, which I don't necessarily recommend, in order to use it, right? In order to get out of inflationary currencies, and in order to thrive, right? And in some cases fund their startups, which is pretty neat. But it's not just India. There's a lot of other countries that are engaging in the use of cryptocurrencies. There's this chart here. This is countries by cryptocurrency value received from this timeline from July 2023 to June 2024. Again, coming from the Chainalysis report, Indonesia leads the way. So this isn't adoption straight up. This is value received. So just over 150 billion dollars worth of crypto was received by Indonesians, and then India leads is the runner-up there, and then Vietnam, Australia, Thailand, Singapore, Philippines, Pakistan, Malaysia, Kazakhstan, Cambodia, Bangladesh, New Zealand, Uzbekistan.
I have a question here, T-shirt. This is all around the world. This chart here was telling me about, because I don't know if you know, if anyone picked up on it. There's not a single, when I just said like it's nice to see Africa and Asia adopting it. There's not a single European or American country on that list.
Actually, correction. This is CSAO, so I'm pretty sure this is this is part of Asia. Yeah.
And then it included Australia. But very, very interesting. Still, I mean, again, seeing that massive adoption. You look at those numbers here. Go to Indonesia. What's the number of the dollar symbol that's going in there? Go scroll down.
Yeah.
150 billion.
150 billion.
We're not talking about a little bit of pocket change. This is some serious money flowing in to, again, these are mostly South Asian countries that are receiving and getting this inflow of crypto. That's good. I love seeing that. I love seeing that because it's going to help that portion of the world very much so, where, yeah, again, I think you said it before, but we complain about the corruption in the West, and there is plenty of corruption in the West. But if you think that corruption in the West is out of control, just go to the East. It's a different ball game over there. Good to see them adopting crypto and get to have a weapon to fight against the corruption of their governments.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, let's shift gears here. Let's go into some data that's going to help us make an informed perspective on crypto at large. For investors, stablecoin markets soar to 170 billion, fueling optimism for Bitcoin boom. What does this mean? This is essentially painting a picture that a bunch of money is still on crypto exchanges. It's just in stable coins, right? And I actually do have a chart to kind of illustrate this. This is from sosovalue.xyz. And as you can see here, they're putting the number at 160 billion, 162 billion. The article says 170 billion. It's in the ballpark. The point is that a bunch of money is sitting in stable coins on the sidelines. Some of it's earning yield, of course, right? But other of it is earmarked to absolutely FOMO, absolutely just body slam a ton of cryptos and pump up the price of those. So, Tim, obviously you and I, we congregate on this channel every day. We get into the Discord and we try to speculate and figure out which of those crypto coins it's going to be that gets exchanged for all of this USDT, USDC, TUSD, whatever the stable coin is that's sitting on exchange. And I think that we do a pretty good job of it. So far, we've been able to predict, especially on the trading side, pretty well. But just how bullish is this? Is this something that, is kind of something to kind of sweep under the rug, or is this relatively substantial and something that investors really need to pay attention to?
We'll go back to it. I guess I missed. I thought I was listening correctly, but I guess I missed what the exact detail of the chart was.
Yeah, so just that there's a lot of stable coins, a lot of money piling up in stable coins to the tune of 170 billion on the sidelines, just waiting to buy up. For those of you, just for comparison, right? 3 billion. 3 billion was how much Germany sold that brought the price of Bitcoin down. What was it, like 10%, right? Down south of 58. So 170 billion, if that was to flow into Bitcoin, which of course all of it's not going to, and definitely not at the same time, but that would pump Bitcoin well north of 200,000 in my opinion.
It's bullish for two reasons here, T-Sherm. The first thing I think you kind of hinted at right there, but it's need to be said. when stablecoin has that high a level of money fluctuating around or going around the world, that right there, stablecoins, the number one use case of stablecoins is quick ability to purchase cryptocurrency. And the biggest benefactor of that is going to be Bitcoin. But I think the others will benefit as well, like Ethereum and Solana and the rest of the altcoin space. But the second one is, let's just even pretend we aren't about to get a massive rally. And I think we are. I still believe this is like the perfect timing based off of multiple predictions we made on this channel that this is the right season for Bitcoin and crypto to take off on the second leg of the bull market. But even if it's not, that still is communicating that people want to be in the crypto space and they're going to wait for the right opportunity to be in crypto. So anyone sitting here wondering, man, should I sell my Bitcoin? Let's just say we were going to have some negative stuff come out. Should I sell my Bitcoin and walk away? No, like you shouldn't, because that confidence is saying that even if there's lower prices coming, we still believe in the crypto space. Crypto was not a flash in the pan, a bubble that's worthless. People would be exchanging that out to something else. They would want to get away from the crypto world. Maybe they'd want to find different stocks they want to look at, maybe different investment properties. But as long as it stays in Tether, the main use case of that is going to be purchasing quickly on exchanges. It's a lot like T-Shroom. It's like the opposite of when people move crypto off exchange so they can't transact it quickly. Getting your money heavily into Tether or USDC, stablecoins in general, it's just a defining factor. You're ready to make a purchase. You're just looking for the right trigger point. And even though we're rallying right here, I think there's some people that are waiting for confirmation. As good traders and investors do, you don't invest and catch the bottom. You wait for the confirmation that the bullishness is here. And I think we're days away from seeing that flash, as we are more than likely to see a rate cut in United States dollars a week from today. That's going to spark a major bullish move in the markets. And watch those stablecoin numbers dwindle and Bitcoin, Ethereum, and others shoot to the upside.
Absolutely. And that is also how this analyst here, Tarek on Chain, explained the combination of shrinking Bitcoin reserves and rising stablecoin reserves set the stage for a bullish price breakout. With reduced Bitcoin supply and growing buying power, the market is primed for a potential upward move. Historically, the supply-demand imbalance has led to a significant price in gains. You're going to wake up one day and Bitcoin's someday soon, right? It could be in September. And Bitcoin is going to have broken through 73, right? 73.7. It's going to be hitting new all-time highs. You're going to be tuning in to the Investor Bros, the Discord, trying to figure out what the heck's going on. Why? It's really this, guys. It really does come down to this, is people are exchanging stablecoins for Bitcoin, right? That's how price goes up. And they're doing that at an increasingly rapid rate. So this is why. Right, there'll certainly be some catalysts, right? If the right administration gets elected into office in the United States, that'll be a positive catalyst, right? If the Fed, if big institutions go ahead and start taking risk again with cheaper money from the Fed and other central banks around the world with the yen carry trade, that's another reason why. But how Bitcoin goes up is literally exchanging dollars and stable coins and other assets for Bitcoin. So don't ignore this as too simple of a story. This is how the mechanics of Bitcoin work. Low supply on exchange and high stable coins on exchange is a recipe for Bitcoin price and other crypto assets price to go higher. Tim, that's going to wrap up the news for today. We heard from Eric Volkanis. We heard from this report from Chainalysis, kind of highlighting India as a bit of a sleeper when it comes to a crypto adoption. I say that because we don't hear a ton from India. We hear them every once in a while. But after the big ban on Indian exchanges and national exchanges in India being able to be utilized, right, there was kind of a fall off of major Indian stories. There was a chat here. Before we move away from news, there was a cool chat here from someone who appears to be Indian, and I believe that they are. I don't know how to pronounce this name, but Mr. Das said Indian economy is actually doing quite well compared to other countries. Major problem is income inequality. Love from India. Polygon has Indian founders. So in that article where they mentioned Polygon, that's probably what that was gesturing to. Thank you so much for the clarification. And yes, India does is on track to be one of the best, if not the best, leading economies in the world, not immediately, but in the next couple decades, because they have a positive birth rate. I think they're one of the only countries and areas of the world that have a positive birth rate, and also have quite a bit going for it. So in addition to that, so thank you so much, Das, for tuning in here and providing some alpha to go along with it.
Yeah, I want to read here. We're going to do our factoid of the day here in a second, then get into some Q&A, but we're reading chat as we transition here. Senza has a great question. I think a lot of newer investors are probably asking something similar. Hey, guys, as being my first potential bull, and I think he means market, do you remember there being signs of the bull run? Did it start suddenly and unexpectedly in the past? Biggest advice there. Yeah, so Senza, I'll tell you this. While I was newer, the truth is, 4 years ago, when the bull market got its second wind, let me show you. You don't go to my screen just yet here, T-Shroom, but I want to kind of let's walk back and take a look at a similar timeline 4 years ago as to what was happening. I just want to kind of walk people through the price action.
We're zooming out, bros.
Go to my screen here. So back here, this is the bear market bottom back here in December of 2018, right? So in hindsight, the bull market started in December of 2018 because the bottom was in and it was nothing but up and to the right. But there was absolutely confusion. You can see here in the months between December and about March of 2019, it was just a sideways kind of choppy action. Is the bottom actually in? Are we going to make it there, or are we going to move to the upside? Well, we begin a very fast and explosive rally that had like the first leg of the bull market, right? A lot of stops along the way, but overwhelmingly setting higher highs and higher lows. And Bitcoin from the bottom of the bear market rallied up 350%. So that's a 4.5x. Anyone who was brave and bought the bottom at $3,000 made some good money up here on 13,000. But then we went into a prolonged sideways, boring, slightly bearish trend, lower high, lower low trend for a couple of months. And if it wasn't for COVID, we probably would have bottomed out somewhere back here in December of 2019. But COVID did happen, and we went a little bit lower. That being said, we rallied back up in here, and even though we got back up to higher levels like 11,000, there was this kind of choppy what's happening. And I'll tell you this right now, even though I wasn't experienced, I watched and I listened to the people who had been around, and even they were a little bit surprised. What I mean by that was they loved this rally right here in July. That was a very good month for a lot of crypto investors. But then they got kind of bored as we moved into October. And I actually remember in October, you guys can see here, it's not quite a very beautiful looking one, but there were people concerned about a potential head and shoulders pattern, an ugly one, but a left shoulder right there, a good looking head, and then a potential right shoulder, right? So here in October of 2020, even though people knew a bull market should come, they were very concerned about a bigger pullback first. Well, of course, hindsight is 2020, and just like the year, but I'm just, didn't mean to have my own joke there. There we go, T-Shirt. Thank you for that. Hindsight's 2020 in 2020. But of course, the price would go on to shoot up and to the right. My overall point here, though, is even the people that had been in crypto for years weren't necessarily loving October of 2020, even though if they had stayed with their current trajectory, if they'd stuck with the 4-year cycle consensus, if they stuck with the fact that only a couple of months prior that year, we'd had a very bullish Bitcoin halving, they should have known not to capitulate and make a move to the upside. And what happened when you say, is it surprising? I watched as people I knew in the crypto world were like, oh my gosh, we're making a run. Oh my, we're back at 15,000. Holy cow. And then I remember them hitting 20,000 saying, oh my gosh, we're back up to previous all-time high. This is amazing. But that's not even the beginning of where Bitcoin would go. We'd have a much more explosive move all the way up above $60,000. What's my point here? There's no way to know perfectly the exact day or the exact time of when Bitcoin's going to start moving again. Are there signs of positivity? Yes. According to the 4-year cycle, is it time to start making it run again? Yes, there is. But if you're thinking that every single person in the crypto space is going to come into agreement about the rally happening, that's not going to happen. There will always be the naysayers. There will always be the people who are a little concerned. There will be moments that flash on the charts and in the news that possibly make you think that the markets are actually about to take a much bigger step to the downside. I'm going to continue to hold on to the history and the fundamentals of how Bitcoin and crypto have always moved since its existence back in 2009. I am preparing myself for a major run up. Am I going to be surprised at what the catalyst is? Maybe. Wait for details to come out over the next couple of months that try their very best to shake you in and out, in and out, in and out. But you want to know why Bitcoin's going to go up, ladies and gentlemen? Because the US dollar sucks. And because Bitcoin is the greatest form of money the world's ever seen, people just don't fully realize that just yet, but they're going to. And with the allies that we've made here over the last year in the institutional space, in the governmental space, with the fact that it's one of the top talked about platforms worldwide on how governments are going to treat it. And for the most part, it's optimistic. These are reasons to continue to be very bullish on crypto, but you don't want to wait. You don't want to wait for the explosion to happen. You want to have access right now. You want to hold to your positions. If you have a small trading portfolio, go for it. Trade the ups and downs. But with your large portion of your portfolio, DCA, hold on for dear life. Embrace the volatility. And yes, there will be a spark that comes pretty much out of nowhere that Bitcoin is going to take off like a bottle rocket. But if you're holding and you're invested now, you will stand to reap the rewards on that as well, and you will be A-okay. Don't fall for the chaos, though. There's still chaos coming news-wise and maybe even price-wise. We'll have to wait and see.
Absolutely. Really well put, Tim. Well, I think that now it's time for some of you all's favorite time of the show, and that would be the factoid of the day. Now, I've got to say that we've got some hype for this one because Nathan said, Tim, I got you on the factoid today. Don't worry. I've been studying history and current events all day in preparation. Nathan, we'll see if you can help out.
Whatever Nathan thinks is the answer we're going with. Put a poll in there, Crux. Do we have faith in Nathan? He didn't get it right yesterday. That's okay. We all have our off days. Today, I'm a Nathan believer. Put that poll in there. I'm going to vote Nathan. You guys tell me what you guys think. T-Shroom, what does the elf have for us today? What is the question? We're 2 for 2 this week. We got a lot of momentum coming into the middle of the week. What do we got?
All right, Tim. Today's factoid of the day is brought to you all by Decrypted.tax. If you're looking for some excellent tax professional advice for 25% off or a discount, then go down into the description and click and check out Decrypted.tax. Tim, what 2 languages has been the official language of India? A, English, B, Hindi, C, Bengali, D, Tamil, or E, Arabic?
All right, Nathan, you're up. I hope you were studying India. This is going to be really bad as I kind of walk through this. Is Hindi a language? I don't know if it is. And the same thing with I know there's been well, that's not in India though, so that's I was going to say Benghazi, but that's not Bengali. Bengali sounds like a language, does it not? Nathan says Hindi and English 100%. And listen, I just said we're going all in with Nathan. We are riding or dying with Nathan today, so we're going to go with it. A and B are the 2, and this is a trick. I don't think ever in the history of the Factoid Alpha we had to make 2 selections. That's this history. Nathan's going to take us into a day of history. We're going A and B here, T-Shroom. English, although the Factoid Elf missed the N, so it's actually English and Hindi. I'm rocking with it. Listen, I said I was going to start from the beginning. We're going with Nathan's pick. Let's see what we got. Nathan, my man.
He got
Listen, we should start another poll. That's 3 for 3, right? So we have the chance to get another 3 wins and have a second winner. But by default, should Nathan just automatically be the first winner of the giveaway? I will let the chat decide. So, Crux, I need you to ask that question. We will wait till the end of the show. But should Nathan just automatically, since he got us this win today, be the first winner of this week's Factoid giveaway? And if we get the next 3, if we get 3 out of the next 4 correct, no, there's only 3 because I'm bad at math. If we get the next 3 correct, we'll have another winner on Saturday. No. Andy Halo is a hater, says no. He says no. He said wants a fair playing field. I need a poll, though, Crux. I need a poll. And I will, Nathan, great job. We will abide by the people's opinion. This is a democracy here at the Investing Bros.
I love how Indy Halo just said no. Tim,
just no.
We've had our steak before we've had our salad. We got to learn the lesson here. What is exactly meant by this? While the Constitution was adopted in 1950, Articles 343 declared that Hindi would be the official language and English would serve as an additional official language for a period not exceeding 15 years. So there's a lot of stipulations here, but it is true that if you read the factoid question, two of these languages, there it is, English. Two of these languages have been official languages of India. Tim, I think we had a lot of fun with that one. And if you're Indian, obviously this episode has been for you. Smash the like button and tell us in the comments what are some altcoins that you'd love to see us do some TA on very soon.
Yeah, I saw someone in here asking for Jasmy TA, so I think that's a good place to start.
Nice.
I want to take a look at NVIDIA as well. Someone mentioned earlier NVIDIA was doing really well, and I checked the charts. That's absolutely true. But let's start with some Jasmy. I like Jasmy. For those of you who have been watching, okay, first I'm going to vote on the poll. All right, I'm not telling you what I'm voting for. You got to vote for yourself. We'll go with the poll though, whatever it says. Nathan, this is for you. What we're looking at here with Jasmy. This is my coin that might be one of my biggest risk investments, meaning there's a chance that I don't make a lot of money, a chance I lose money, but I think that also there's a good chance that I make a lot of money. I think Jasmy is one of the coins with 50x potential. I'm not guaranteeing it. I'm not saying that's a certainty. I'm just saying it is potentially on the table. This coin is actually pretty big in Japan. Japan has the second largest economy, has a lot of money in the world. Am I right about that? I don't want to make sure I'm not misquoting that. Japan's the second largest economy, correct? You are muted, so I don't know what you're saying.
By country? I don't think so. I think UK.
There was something about Japan. Maybe I'm missaying it, but there's something about Japan that it is the second. It's right behind the United States, but I can't remember what that was exactly. Either way, let's keep doing the charts here for Jasmy coin. My point overwhelmingly is Japan's not a small economy. There's a lot of money in Japan, and they seem to love Jasmy coin. So not a terrible investment. A little bit of a falling wedge pattern kind of happening here on Jasmy. That's something I love to see. It is long-term bullish. And should be breaking to the upside. We're going to be wrestling with resistance, though, when we get back up to 2.5 cents. So that's going to be a mark that probably has a major impact on confirming if the bulls are back in control. And remember, as much as it's nice to try to catch bottom positions and predict that everything's going to be crazy high, you do want to wait for confirmation before you go all in on a project. That's just safe, good investment advice. And that level we're looking at is in the realm of 250. Let's get back above there, and then we can start talking about how high we really, really can get with Jasmy coin. But let's take a look at what we have going on let's start with our oscillators. I love the oscillators. And what I thought was going to pop up is exactly what popped up. Let's start, though, with MACD. Love it. MACD. Bullish cross here again. MACD's making some serious moves to the upside. Love what I'm seeing there on the MACD. The RSI wrestling with the 50, but looking like it wants to break above. That would be majorly bullish. Having spent a lot of time here more recently below the 50 on the RSI. And then, of course, we have my favorite tool of them all, the Lux Algo Oscillator, where we have, I think this is one of those 5 buy signal triggers. I love these. These have never failed. I'll be very honest with you. This trade, I'll tell you guys, my traditional trade using the Lux Algo Oscillator hits about 85, 90% of the time, which is phenomenal. I have never once entered a trade with these 5 things flashing by and not hit my take profit target. That's a bold statement I'm making right there. And I'm not lying to you. I've never once seen this fail. What is this theory? Let's go take a look at it. Well, traditionally, all I need to see is a reversal dot or triangle. I need to see bullish momentum on the oscillator, and I need to see positive money flow. So those are the big 3. If you get those, you got a great buy signal. Doesn't always work out. It's not 100%, but it's a great buy signal. One of the best I've ever seen. When you add in the fact that we have bullish divergence, that's number 4. And remember earlier what I said about excessive sellers leaving the space? That is number 5. We have, and I don't have the numbers here. I should get the numbers where I can do it like that. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 major buy signals here on the Lux Algo Oscillator for Jasmy. What that means, in case now you're saying, all right, so we know we should be buying. Where do we take profit on this move? For that, I go up here and I turn on our Lux Algo signals and overlays and price action concepts. And that's pretty much exactly what I was thinking. We're going to make a move up to the smart trail. There's a chance that we break up even higher and go up here towards 3 cents, right? But I'm a conservative trader. I like knowing I'm going to win. I put leverage on it. I use either Blofin or Coin W. Go check out links down below if you want to get into trading. I'm going to talk about Blofin here more in a second. But I'm going to make this trade up to the smart trail, and I'm not going to go all the way to the top. Let's just go conservatively into the middle where we see 2.319. So 0.02319. In that same area, we have a strong order block of selling pressure. We have a falling level of resistance in this falling wedge. I'm not saying we don't make a big breakout above there, but I'm saying I feel very confident. In fact, again, never once, that looks like chaos. Never once have I seen these 5 buy signals on an oscillator and the price not made it at least up to the smart trail, if not higher. That is what I'm looking at here on Jasmine Coin. Love it. I actually love this. I didn't give a like goal today. We need to get back to doing our like goals. What are we at currently? We have over 500 people watching on YouTube, like another 100, 200 people on X. We're at 240. It doesn't matter. Get us to 300 likes here in the next little bit. But there's my trade setup of the day that's free for you guys. I do stuff like this for our VIP trading members. I'll answer questions, but I'm going to give that to you guys for free. If you want more of that, come join the VIP trading group, which again, next week, I'm very excited to announce that we will be starting to implement at least once a week some live trading where you guys can come in. We're going to look at charts. We're going to make some day trading moves. You guys can not only trade with us, but learn about what I'm thinking about when I'm entering these trades on the day-to-day basis. If that describes something you want to learn, again, check out that VIP membership group or check out Lux Algo, and you'll be a part of it. That's going to be Jasmine. I said I want to take a look at NVIDIA really quickly, T-Shirt, and we won't go nuts with it. But NVIDIA, longer time frame, got some symmetrical triangle pattern in play here that I think breaks bullish. Got a nice level bounce of support right here that hit our daily smart trail that I predicted would be a nice level of support right there around 103. We're making a very, very nice move to the upside. What is the big buzz that's happening right now? U.S. government is considering allowing NVIDIA to export advanced chips to Saudi Arabia, which would assist in training and running powerful AI models, specifically the H200s. For all of our computer nerds out there, I don't know what that means. The H200s.
I can't get enough of the H200s.
I don't.
I'm pretty sure those are the advanced AI chips that are like $1 million each. Yeah.
Very cool. NVIDIA Corporation shares rose 3.5% on Monday and 1.5% on Tuesday. So they had that like, it was Apple. Apple had the bad report. I'm mixing up my stocks here. Keep an eye though. We are coming up into some take profit levels. The smart trail though. Do we have a buy signal here? Yeah, very faint little buy signal. It's not the greatest buy signal in the world with that money flow kind of being weak, but we have the green reversal, green momentum, positive money flow. I feel confident about at least making to 123. All right. So anyone looking for a small long on NVIDIA, I feel confident 123. I think there's a decent chance 127 up to that smart trail gets hit as well. But that's what we're kind of looking at here on NVIDIA. Very impressive candle for the daily chart, though. It's been a minute since we've seen a candle of that size. Of course, you had the bounce back here on August 5th. That looks like it matches that candle, but that's a good day so far for the stock that is probably by the end of the year going to be the number one company in the world by market cap. That is NVIDIA. It is 3:58 T-shirt. Let's do one more question. And then, of course, we announced it this morning, but for all of our members, YouTube members, Discord members, we will be live in Discord here right after the stream. We're going to give our takes. We're going to talk about a lot of things, open it up for Q&A as well. But the main priority is to give our takes on what happened last night in the debate. If you want to hear my and T-Shroom's thoughts and give your own, make sure you're in that group. Last question we have here. Let's kind of look for this. Anyone else heard about the KRC20 coming in the next 4 days for Caspa? Says Gary C. We've been talking about that a little bit, but Crux is going to be the one that knows a lot of those details. He's in chat, but also Crux is another. He's an asset of our team. Make sure you're in our Discord and you just tag him in it, and he'll be able to answer those types of questions. Moho says, boo politics. Listen, I'm all on board. I'm in the same boat. I would love for this election season to be done and over, and we just move on with our lives.
You know what I've been saying since 2013? Make politics boring again.
Ayo.
I really have.
I think that's going to wrap us up. I'm not seeing necessarily a lot of questions. Nathan says, thank you, bros. I will continue to study for tomorrow. Where do we get? Oh, yeah. Where do we have the poll? 69% said yes, he earned it. So 31% of you guys just do not like it. You just, maybe you don't think it's fair. Maybe it's not fair. I don't know. But 69%, I love it. I voted in favor of Nathan. Nathan, make sure you're in our Discord. Reach out to us. We don't DM people on Discord. We always tell you guys DM us. DM us, and you will be our first winner this week of our Factoid giveaway. That's $50 US. You said USDC, T-Stream. What do we send them?
Whatever you need. Whatever you want.
Well,
$50
USD worth.
Yeah, yeah. We'll discuss that when you reach out in Discord.
Last thing, I mentioned it. Guys, there's a trading challenge on Blofin. If you share my screen here, T-Shroom. Do you want to win $8,000 or the cash equivalents of an Apple Mac Pro? Well, you got an opportunity with Blofin. When you sign up with our link down below and register, we should have 18 days to get up to $60 million worth of volume traded on our account. And if that happens, one of the traders will win $8,000. Every time you trade $10,000 of volume, you get another entry in that giveaway. We're doing well, but we need more help. Go join today. With that said, that is all we have today for you guys. So glad you guys made it in here to spend some time with us. We will see the members here in just a couple of minutes. The rest of you will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place. Adios.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor, the TA. Shout it out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots, stack bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.